Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is episode 5 of my podcast, How Does That Happen? Hey, it's Marc Yaffee. I'm here in the studios of EZ 104.1, the little biggest city, Reno, Nevada, along with my co-host, the very funny, the very talented Dave Mancarelli.
First of all, I think you're giving me too much credit in all of those things. Very funny, very talented, of course, and not really co-host, just sort of like bored monkey.
Wingman extraordinaire.
I like bored monkey.
That's it, whatever the title is. Anyway, this is the How Does That Happen podcast. This basically, it is about unusual record holders, should-be record holders, and wannabe record holders.
Wannabe, yeah.
Tonight, we have a real record holder. I don't know if it's tonight, today, whenever you end up listening to this thing. You know, we're basically loading these things up like shotgun shells, and then we're just going to blast them across the internet. But we're very excited to have our guest today, a friend of mine and a nationally touring comic, actor, writer, raconteur. Please welcome to the show the very funny Sammy Obeid.
Hello all. Good evening.
Or whatever day part it might be. We don't know.
What
it's
part?
evening for Sammy.
Yes.
As we record this. We're recording. We pull the curtain back.
Sammy's like 7-Eleven. He's 24/7. There's comedy all the time, working all the time.
I should have probably asked this off the air when we were getting everything ready, but Sammy's in the show that you did with Jerry Bedknob, and isn't he? Right?
Yes, the ill-fated pilot, Almost Americans. He played...
he's the dictator-y guy, right?
Well, he was only a colonel. I think
colonel, sorry. Yes. Yeah, I thought you were good in that, man. I watched that. I like that, Sammy. That was good.
And if and when the show gets made, he will get his own spin-off where he becomes dictator. So we're very excited about that.
I like it. Just don't tweet it.
I go back to my home country, and let's just say I got a lot of experience from working Marc's camp.
So, Sammy, before we delve into your record holding history, we want to get the brief or not so brief Sammy Obeid bio according to Sammy Obeid.
I was born in 1984. And ever since then, I've just been making people laugh.
Since that day?
Straight out of the womb.
Damn.
Straight out of the womb. People laughed. They laughed when I came out. You know, all the odds were against me, but I still made people laugh. That's my bio, really.
So why were the odds against you, Sammy? We thought you were born under a star.
Say that last night. I thought that was pretty cool. He said all the odds were against me since I was 6 years old. And my thoughts were exactly what yours. How are the odds all against you, even that young? But nobody seemed to ask, so let's just keep it that way.
So I already love Sammy because there's no ego there. You could tell. Like a lot of guys, when you go, hey, give us your thing. When you say, hey, give us your bio, they would run through all their, I did this and I was on this show. And Sammy does have credits. Sammy has those kind of credits, and he's just like, I'm just pretty funny. I like that, man.
The man's working everywhere. He's in clubs, he's casinos. He's always at it. So
he's just like, I'm funny.
Well,
good
then,
for you, man.
Yeah, so that was, I like that too. I agree. It's good to meet some folks in the industry that are...
Humility is lacking in this business sometimes.
What about the pre-comedy life, Sammy Obeid? Where you grew up, early family dynamics, early comedy influences?
I grew up in the East Bay area, Berkeley and Fremont, pretty much is where I spent my childhood.
I am from Fremont, California. What a small world. I grew up there.
Yeah, hey, it's a pretty small state. I hear not a lot of people from there. So what are the odds?
Where'd you go to high school, Sammy?
Went to high school in Mission, San Jose.
Yeah, I went to MSJ, class of 86, man. Class of 2 years after you were born, you whippersnapper.
Look at that. I was there just a few years later.
You were old enough to be his dad, except you weren't getting laid in high school.
That's right. That's true.
Yeah, you know Fremont then. Yeah, Mission, San Jose. It's a very funny town, very funny. Everybody's there. Everybody's funny, and that's really where I got the comedy from.
Nice.
But when I was a kid, my dad he would take me and my sister to see funny movies, and we'd watch SNL, and we loved Steve Martin and Chevy Chase and all those people. And I would say that those were my first comedy influences.
Was your dad funny? Since he was kind of the guy that turned you on to comedy and stuff, was your old man funny?
My dad was kind of a goofy guy.
Yeah.
He used to have a band, so he was always like an artistic kind of guy.
Gotcha.
Who kind of got his act together later in life, and now he's a very, very serious man. traded places.
So beside his music background and band and stuff, what did your dad do when you were growing up?
He's a structural engineer, so he does seismic retrofits. So there's a lot of there's a lot of need for seismic retrofitting in California because of earthquakes.
Yeah, he's been busy since '89, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, it's usually you see people have like the math science bug or like the English verbal bug. Were you a math nerd as well as a verbal comedy guy?
I don't think I was ever really a verbal. I mean, I feel like I'm good with words now as a comedian, but it's still not really mastery of the language. I don't think I was ever a language literature guy. I was always a numbers guy for sure.
Do you still take that to your comedy today? Are you seem like you have a pretty scientific approach to your stand-up?
Yeah, I mean, my approach, my content. I mean, if you see my act, I'm talking about math. Half the time, people are walking out of the room. It's pretty tense, but it's good math comedy. I mean, it's not easy to do math comedy. Like I said, all the odds are against me.
Did you do the college thing?
Oh, did I go to college?
Yeah. I know you played colleges, but I mean, did you do? Were you like graduate from high school and then move on to the advanced studies?
Yeah, I went to UC Berkeley. And I got 2 degrees there. And I doubled in
He's so casual about, dude, just slow down. Slow down. You know how hard, I have a nephew from Novato. He went to one of the best high school. He went to San Marin, Novato. Applied for 4 UC schools. He was like a 3.95. Got rejected by all of them. And you're like, yeah, I went to Berkeley, just got a couple degrees. Like you just went to Starbucks and ordered a couple of lattes. It's awesome.
I did, and they wrote my name on it at the end. So it was pretty much like
What were the degrees?
Just a general business degree from the business school and applied mathematics with concentration and probability theory. So, I mean, it's pretty basic stuff.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Dave and I were just sitting around talking about advanced mobility theory and math today. Yeah.
Yes. Cool.
Yeah, that's why I relate to the average Joe,
Yes, exactly. All the odds against him.
Yeah.
All right, so moving into comedy, you have obviously the science and the business and math background. Were you dabbling in stand-up in the college years?
I tried stand-up for the first time when I was in college. Basically, I had the opportunity to work with this guy who taught a comedy class, and he booked me for a show right away without even taking the class. And then
you got your money at first, though, right?
The show, so I kind of vowed never to do stand-up again.
Yeah.
And then I ended up trying it again later after graduation, and that's when I got into it, like really got into it.
Yeah. So obviously you started in your early 20s. How many years are you in now in the game?
How many is too many? Let's see. 11. I'm going to be 11 years tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
I mean, yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, no matter what day you're listening to it.
Exactly.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So mark your calendar, whatever day it is.
Yes.
And add Sammy on Facebook, follow him on Twitter, and wish him a happy comedy anniversary.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So I think I first saw you. You're probably like 4 or 5 years in. It's been a while since we crossed paths. I knew you in the old TKO days. You want to explain what that was to the listening public?
What are you talking about?
The TKO days. That's when I first met you. You had
TKO? What was TKO?
What was you? It was Toby, Kabir, and Obeid.
You Toby. Okay, all right. Sorry, not a lot of people know that. So yeah. I mean, me and Kabir had this TKO comedy, and then Toby, our roommate, he's like, "Well, you guys got to make a TKO comedy."
So I see. He just kind of latched on. Okay, now we see. Okay.
Only 10 people knew that. I guess you're one of those 10.
Exactly. I consider myself a comedy historian.
That's
at best.
Kabir Singh?
Kabir Singh.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So you guys were doing shows in the Bay, and then you were dipping into LA. And when did you go full time? What year were you? Was it all in?
The full time started in 2011. It's when I had been teaching. I was a teacher, and in 2011, I was starting to lose. I had lost a few teaching jobs, and I kind of had to do part-time tutoring, and then I decided I was going to move to LA, and I was like, well, this is the time just to pursue it full-time. And so I just moved to LA and was just living off of my savings. I wouldn't say it was full-time comedy because I wasn't actually making money at the time, but
full-time dedication. Well, we got to back up before we get into the streak. What were some of the, if you want to share, some of the reasons you were losing your teaching jobs? Was it?
Yeah, well, this was I started teaching in 2007, and in 2008, the market, there was a lot of people, at least in the housing, and I'm sure all across America, were affected by the housing situation and the crash of 2008. So,
and you having no seniority, you're an entry-level teacher, you were the first to go.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was the one who just started. So
We were hoping it wouldn't be such a tragic story. We hope it'd be more, you were just getting in trouble with the kids and causing hijinks in the classroom.
No, you went down a really sad road, Mark. Thanks for really taking the viewers.
Well,
So I lost my job because of the economy. Are you happy now? Jeez.
We all suffered, Sammy. It was a tough time for America.
Well, it was for the better, I guess.
So if the country hadn't gone, think about this. So if we hadn't gone through this Great Recession and Lehman Brothers hadn't screwed everybody over, you might have just locked in on teaching, and America might have lost your comedy influence.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more.
All right, so 2011, you're pretty much you're down in LA now at that point.
Yeah.
And when did?
So I moved down there and I'm still living in the same place.
And when did you conceive of the record that we wish to speak of, which was 1,002 days of consecutive stand-up?
Well, starting at the end of 2010, which is right before I moved, I started to perform every night. The plan was not to do a specific number; it was just to do as many as I could in a row. And my goal after a couple months was to make 365 days of comedy. So that goal was set probably in early 2011. And then I reached 365 at the end of 2011, and somebody told me that a comedian had once done 2 years in a row, and I thought I could either quit here or I could, keep going and try to set some kind of record. So around then, about the beginning of 2012, I decided that it would be 1,000 in comedy. And so I continued through near the end of 2013, and I did 2 extra, 1,002.
Dude, I haven't gone 365 days in 19 years of doing comedy part-time without quitting twice, much less doing it every night. That's a
Dave's just hitting 365 shows over 20 years.
I might not even have 1,002 shows in this 19 years, but just the effort that it would take, not just to get up there and perform every night, just to find a place to perform every night.
Right.
I mean, I imagine that's a little easier in LA, but you still have to get yourself on shows. I mean, there's more places, but there's more people too. How did you even accomplish that, Sammy? How did you find places to get up every night?
Well, I just kind of planned it in advance as much as I could. I learned all the bookers in every town that I was, and I found out all the mics. Just I have a backup plan, and just kind of watch myself play the hawk and make sure every night was covered.
Were you actually letting them know you were going after a record, or were you just saying, "Hey, I'd like to get up tonight"?
Near the end, I was letting people know, but at the beginning, no, I just asking for spots.
Were there some close calls? Obviously, you I'm sure you weren't quite as funny as you were now. You're new at this, obviously. You don't have the chops or the connections.
Yeah.
So did you have some guys try to you're at a show and they bump you?
I mean, the problem was if the show got canceled, those were the close calls. If the show got canceled, I had to scramble to find something at the last minute.
So were you able to run to a Valero and maybe just get up in front of the line and just do 10 minutes so you could count that if the mic got shut down?
Valero, like a gas station, the Valero gas station?
Exactly.
No, I actually preferred the Arco,
but they had the 35-cent processing fee. I avoid them.
Exactly, yeah. But people come there with cash, so it was good for tips.
So let's say a mic canceled, or they say, "Hey, we got to cancel the showcase." So you would just race off to another club? Would you ever do a karaoke night and just get up there and do comedy? Or was there did you set some boundaries for yourself?
Yeah, I did all of the things that you just mentioned. The boundaries were that I needed to make sure that I got a status of doing stand-up comedy in front of an audience who knew that I was doing comedy. It couldn't just be, I couldn't just ambush people on the street. And the set had to be 3 minutes long. And, it didn't necessarily require mics, because sometimes you don't have mics at shows. So those were the requirements. But yeah, I had to find a venue that was either doing comedy, or in a couple cases I had to find a venue that would allow me to do comedy, even though it wasn't doing comedy that night.
That's dedication, man. I mean, I'm speechless. I'm literally speechless. 1,003 years straight of getting up and doing stand up. Like, I loathe it. I just.
Well, even if you were invited and you didn't have to, you only had to make one call or get an email.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of effort involved.
Yeah.
You got to get out.
It's
you got
so hard. Yeah.
Dressed. You got to get your set. You got to make your trip down there. You got to deal with traffic.
Sammy, I can't imagine. Give me the percentage, if you would. Let's put it 1,000 shows, and let's say how many of those shows did you actually like you enjoyed, and how many you were just like, I just got to do this so I can keep going towards this record? How many were like, fuck this?
So how many did I enjoy, and how many did I not enjoy?
How many? What's the percentage you would say you didn't enjoy?
I'd probably say a strong 35%.
We're just like, I'm just going to do this to keep this thing going, and people are. Yeah. This is just not fun, right?
Were they scattered throughout the 1,002 days, or did they come at a certain point?
They were scattered, but most of them were near the end.
Ah, yeah.
Jesus.
The last 100 days were pretty rough. Not the very, very end. The very, very end was very fun, but the last year, 2013, that whole year was pretty rough.
Did the quest for the record kind of overtake your sensibilities to want to just go do comedy and write and just enjoy yourself?
Yeah, I was no longer doing it for fun or for the art. I was doing it because I had to. So, it made me lose a lot of my creative inspiration.
Sure.
My just will to just, have fun. So, yeah.
What about like emergencies, weather, illness, car breakdowns? What are some of the roadblocks that you ran into or close calls?
Getting sick, I just did the gig, didn't let any kind of sickness stop me. Car troubles, I had the same car throughout the whole time. I never really had any major car troubles that prevented me from getting to a gig. There were some close calls with delays, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, show cancellations. Was the big thing, really, because that happens a lot.
Sure, when you're counting on open mics to keep it going, I would think that would be the biggest thing. And then, like you said, weather and flight delays. Like this is an amazing record. Like on the surface, you go, oh, so he did it every night for 3 years or whatever. But like first of all, to anybody that does comedy or performs at all, a musician or whatever, knows what a drag that can be. And then again, not always. Listen, none of us ever do comedy always in like a nice, perfect situation, like a nice full club or whatever, where people are there for the comedy. And you're in 1,002 nights in a row, I'm sure, doing it a lot of places where it was not the perfect situation. And then again, you have all those outside forces that could affect it. So this is a huge record. This is a big, big deal, man.
Well, thank you. I guess tell the ladies that. So
how did it affect your progression? Do you think you got? I would assume. I mean, it's kind of maybe sounds like a stupid question, but I would assume you got better faster than most people over that. Just doing anytime 3 minutes or whatever it is.
I bet you that showcase set was tight.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the main thing. I mean, I got all of the benefits of working hard in comedy that you could from doing 1,000 days, all the normal benefits. But I would say the main thing that set me apart from others who are not doing 1,000 days in a row is the momentum that I had. On day 1,000, I went on stage knowing that I had just done 999 days in a row, and nothing could stop me. It was just whatever I was doing was natural. Like, there was no breaks, there was no rustiness at all.
Yeah.
At what point did you start sharing it with the audiences that you were closing in on the streak and the record?
I may have mentioned it a few times early on, but it wasn't really until like the last year where it was being announced when I would go on stage.
And how and where did it end at?
The last gig I did was, the last technical gig that I did, it was at Punchline in San Francisco. It was a midnight show at Punchline in San Francisco.
Nice. So,
was there cake?
Was there cake?
Should have been cake. Should have been something for you at the end of that, man.
Did someone bring you a cake or some sort of dessert item to celebrate this?
Yeah, nobody brought me any cake. People did give me some gifts, but I don't think any of them were cake, no.
So my thought would be you have no fear. There's no gig that scares you. After doing 1,002 nights in a row, like you're nothing. Like I don't headline very often, and I had to close the show last night, whatever day you're listening to this, for 7 people, 45 minutes for 7 people. And that scares the piss out of me. I hate that. And, it really is nerve-wracking for me. But I would assume that there's no situation where you step on a stage now after doing that where you're like, this is going to, I can't handle this. I mean, nothing scares you now, right?
No, nothing.
Yeah. Pretty adamant. No, nothing.
He would even go to Albuquerque and film a shitty pilot.
I'll even be in a movie or in a TV show that's counting on Marc Yaffee to get it on the air.
So what kind of response did you get from the comedy community or, media or bookers with the whole record?
Well, a lot of people heard about it and they, were impressed and congratulatory, and people helped me out along the way and booked me, and I mean, it did some good things for my career for sure.
Sammy, how many assholes have you encountered that don't believe you and want to challenge you on it? Like, no way, dude. No way you did that.
Actually, I don't think anyone doubted that I did it.
Nice.
Did you do like a verification photo every night, or was there some sort of internal record?
I started doing that like halfway through. In the early stages, I didn't even know I was doing it.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? That it didn't start out as a thing.
I logged every night, everywhere that I went. So every day had a show logged and the witnesses and everything like that. That if it ever was coming into question.
And then back then, or even now, what is obviously you got a crazy dedication to comedy in general back then and now. Do you have like a certain regimen, like a health approach and a mental exercises you do, like when you're just either daily or when you're getting ready for shows? What's some Sammy Obeid secrets?
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess we're talking about like comedy specifically, or just general life, or.
Well, yeah, I mean, life as it bleeds into your comedy. Like, hey, I run every day, or I get to meditate, or I'm a juicer, or just stuff that advances your life and makes you capable of going after something like this.
Yeah, well, I guess, during that time, during the 1,000 days, my health, was in question because it was very exhausting. So I naturally began to eat a lot healthier and exercise more. So I still have that kind of lifestyle. I do meditate every morning. I started meditating when I was younger in my teens, but I had stopped for a long time, and I actually started near the end of the 1,000 days because I was going crazy. So I actually I brought back to meditation because it helped me kind of relax and find peace with myself. So the fact that I do all that stuff now is definitely largely affected by what had happened during that time. But I meditate, I exercise almost daily, I eat really healthy, all the things you just said, but I don't really have a very specific regimen. I like to keep things a little fluid and changing them up because I'm on the go a lot still, so I can't always do the same thing in the same time every day.
So that's my question, Sammy, is I deal with anxiety and depression shit, and I can't imagine what that would do to my psyche 1,002 nights in a row. I mean, just the mental fatigue, right? So what did you do anything specific? Like you said, toward the end you were going crazy, and I know you're only probably half joking, if at all. What did you? Was there anything specific you did to alleviate the mental pressure that you must have been under?
That I did to alleviate the mental pressure?
Yeah, because like you said, you must have been going nuts by the end. It must have been just mentally exhausting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the things that helped were meditation. Yeah. And as ironic as it was, I mean, I would have really shitty days and feel really bad, and the only thing that would make me feel better was doing a set.
Wow. That's the therapeutic benefit of I guess you would have to feel that way about it to get up every day for 1,002 days to be like, well, everything else is crap today, but at least I'm going to do this 3 minutes or 20 minutes tonight. I mean, because not all of them were little 3 minute. I mean, some of them were out of those 1,000, half were regular paid booked shows, you think, or what percentage?
Yeah, probably something like
about
that.
Half.
Maybe a little more. I mean, well over half of them were booked shows. Probably 75% of them were booked, but paid shows.
Well, booked, paid is the same to me. Fuck it. If someone hired you, they hired you, whether they're getting paid. Those ones though where you're sort of trying to be like, hey, I'm trying to keep this thing going. I know you're doing karaoke here or whatever. Or, hey, I noticed you have it. Those just that would exhaust me. That would did it reinforce the fact that you had made the right choice, that doing stand up full time was the right choice, or were there times when you thought maybe I've made the wrong choice? I'm going to go back to fucking math now.
Well, I never thought I was going to go back to math. That was never an option. If anything, that was what kept me going. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of times where I was like, no, as soon as this is over, I'm going to quit. But then I got on TV, and things started going really well. So really, there was not a lot of reason to quit.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
So do you feel you missed out on anything during the streak? Like, was there a hot waitress at a club that wanted to take you to Tahoe for the weekend? You're like, oh, sorry, I got to be in Antioch at a showcase.
No, I don't really think I missed out on any opportunity other than the fact that I was in a relationship in the beginning of this streak, and we broke up.
What show do you remember the show it ended on? I mean, that's kind of a big deal. Does that stick in your head?
Yeah, I remember when it ended in the 600s.
Wow.
600s, but
so she's like, we just get down like it's the streak or me.
About messing that one up, and thinking, maybe if I hadn't been doing this thing, that I could have made that work, and maybe that's the person I should be with. But in retrospect, I don't feel that way anymore. I think I did the right thing. By
like 975, you're like, this is fine. I made the right decision. Wow.
Yeah.
Any other comedy records brewing in your mind?
Comedy records?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like in setting, hey, I want to be the most Netflix specials.
He wants to be the richest
the great,
comedian in the world.
The first major, or not double major, but 2-degreed UC Berkeley comedian to perform on 7 continents. I don't know. It's brewing in your head.
What do you want out of this guy? He did 1,002 shows in a row, and he's still doing comedy. He's successful. So I think.
Yeah, I think I got to do 1 million next.
Yeah. Okay. Get cracking. We got open mic we got an open mic here at the library in Reno. Head on over.
Yeah, I just need to figure out a way to speed up time. I can do that.
Awesome.
Just do 30-second sets and try to do 6 or 7 every day.
And any questions that we didn't ask about the streak that you wish we'd asked and you would like to share? Or?
No. I mean, that's, I've been asked everything that I can think of.
Can I get personal? I know we don't even really know each other, Sammy. I'm going to ask you a personal question.
You got 6 minutes. He's got places to be.
Have you had a relationship with a woman that lasted 1,002 days?
No.
I'm proud of you because the comedy is much more important and it's much more your friend than any woman would ever be.
Well, and also that way I can be like, see, I can commit to something,
Yeah. There you go. Hey, baby.
There you go. You got a record. You got a record to shoot for. 1,003 nights of a relationship. Awesome. All right. Well, where do the people find you on the internet, etc.?
Sammy Obeid, SAMMYOBEID, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, my website. Do all kinds of private parties and bowling alleys and wherever, I did 1,000 nights in a row, so I can do an extra one.
If they can get him to Brentwood, California, out in the Delta to do a open mic night, you can book this man too. So go to his website, hire him, pay him. He deserves it. Wishing you continued success, brother. That was awesome talking with you, and we certainly appreciate your time.